Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
We now present a mixed chorus, song of General Kim Il-sung. The middle chorus, from General Kim Jong-il.
You are listening to Voice of Korea News Now. The Workers' Party of Korea Publishing House brought out Volume 2 of Collection of Anecdotes on Kim Il-sung, a cycle of revolutionary anecdotes. The book has 4 chapters dealing with revolutionary anecdotes on the great leader President Kim Il-sung and his early revolutionary activities between June 2015 or 1926 and March 2021 or 1932. The British Association for the Study of Sungan Policy recently brought the great leader President Kim Il-sung's famous work on abolishing the tax system. Preparatory committees were formed in Bucharest of Romania and in Jakarta of Indonesia, respectively, on March the 24th and the 25th to celebrate the Day of the Sun, the birth anniversary of the great leader President Kim Il-sung. The preparatory committees decided to organize colorful plates of President Kim Il-sung on the occasion of the Day of the Sun. The Swiss Preparatory Committee for Celebrating the Day of the Sun recently posted a special article on the website of the Swiss Korean Committee and the Swiss Group for the Study of the Chochi Idea, along with a photograph of the great leader President Kim Il-sung. The article titled President Kim Il-sung, the lodestar of national reunification, highly praised the immortal exploits of Kim Il-sung, who, regarding Korea's reunification as the supreme task of the nation from the first day of her division, devoted all his painstaking efforts to the cause of national reunification until the last moment of his life. He stressed that Korea would be surely reunified under the idea of bi-nation essence, thanks to respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, who is successfully carrying forward the idea and cause of President Kim Il-sung and leader Kim Jong-il. Recently, the Guinean Preparatory Committee for Celebrating the Day of the Sun and the Guinean National Committee for the Study of the Chochi Idea jointly released a special issue of bulletin under the title On the Occasion of the 102nd Birth Anniversary of the Great Leader President Kim Il-sung. In the articles titled Eternal Son of the Chochi and Great Father of the People, The bulletin said President Kim Il-sung, praised by progressive mankind as the eternal son of the Church, created the immortal Church idea and thus provided a great guiding idea for the human cause of independence. Today, the Church idea, rooted deep in the hearts of the world progressivists, is recognized as the guiding idea, representing the time the bulletin stressed. The bulletin gave a detailed account of the undying achievements of President Kim Il-sung, who opened up the era of independence and devoted his all to the happiness of the people. The National Aerospace Development Administration of the DPRK is conducting positive activities for peaceful development of aerospace after its establishment. In the course, the emblem of the administration was made. The emblem has the deep blue earth as the ground and the Great Bear and two light blue satellite orbits representing polar and equatorial orbits in the sky. The emblem also has English abbreviations DPRK and NADA and Korean words of the National Aerospace Development Administration embossed in contrasting blue and white colors, symbolizing the status of the administration. Minister of Industry and Agriculture Haltmagin Batatolga, chairman of the Mongolian side to the DPRK Mongolia Intergovernmental Consultative Committee for Economy, Trade, Science and Technology, and his party arrived in Pyongyang by air on March the 31st. That day, the DPRK government gave a reception in honor of the Mongolian Minister of Industry and members of Korean organizations in Europe, including the Society for Cooperation Among Koreans in Germany, the European regional headquarters of the Pan-National Alliance for Korea's Reunification, and the Berlin of Germany on March 26th, in denunciation of the South Korean chief executive's visit. At the meeting, a scene of performance showing that Park Geun-hye was classed for a wrong policy enforced since the assumption of office enjoyed response of the participants. Speakers at the meeting said, as the daughter of a dictator, Park Geun-hye persisted in irregularities such as interference in the election while violating the human rights of the South Korean workers. They also said she earned international disgrace at the Third Nuclear Security Summit, describing as if the nukes of the North are the greatest threat. German personages of different sections also took part in the meeting and made some bold speeches. After the meeting, the participants marched with us of the South Korean chief executive on a visit to Germany. With passing, the marchers chanted the slogan, "Step, step, Park Geun-hye," more strongly protesting against her. The websites of the General Association of Koreans in the United States and the Society for Cooperation Among Koreans in Germany, the U.S. resident Koreans internet newspaper Minso Tongsin, the South Korean internet newspaper, the protests of the overseas Koreans ridiculing that Park Geun-hye was dropped. The South Korean chief executive Park Geun-hye traveled to different countries with wrongdoing to the surprise of the fellow countrymen. Park Geun-hye talked about an end to slanders between fellow countrymen, but during her recent visit to Germany, according to the scenario drafted by the National Intelligence Service, viciously slandered the DPRK, talking about economic difficulty, hunger, restoration of homogeneity, and other nonsenses. Therefore, she was contempted by the world people as base politician who doesn't know what she must say or not. And she also presented a so-called proposal for reunification by bringing together trifling odds and ends, and thus faced ridicules and criticism even from her own group. Over 4,000 members of the Railway Trade Union of South Korea held a meeting for general strike against the railway company's suppression of the trade union at the plaza of the Seoul railway station on March 25th, according to the South Korean newspaper Hangyorae. Speakers at the meeting said the railway companies are suppressing the trade unionists with mass punishment and damage compensation for their strike against the railway privatization and plotting even their forceful renewal. They stated that they will no longer tolerate the railway companies' ignorance of the demands of the trade union and suppression. Then, more than 100 trade unionists, including Kim Myung-hun, chairman of the Railway Trade Union, had their hair cut and made a strong protest against the suppression by the railway company. The statement of the DPRK Ministry of Foreign Affairs was made public concerning that the DPRK's sincere efforts for preventing a new war and ensuring have faced a grave challenge of the hostile forces. The statement was reported on March 30th and 31st by the Chinese news service Xinhua News Agency and internet homepage People's Network, the Russian Press, the U.S. newspaper New York Times, VOA and CNN, the British Reuters, Easy Press and NHK. The Socialist Party of Romania, the long-lived General Kim Jong-il shortwave in Benin, the Beninese National Committee for the Study of the Turkey Idea, and the Bulgaria-Korea Friendship Association recently issued statements in denunciation of the anachronistic U.S. hostile policy toward the DPRK. The statements said the National Defense Commission of the DPRK issued a statement urging the United States to completely lift its hostile policy toward the DPRK. They extended full support and encouragement to the Korean people in their resolute struggle against the aggressive policy of the United States to aggravate the situation of the Korean Peninsula and infringe upon the sovereignty. And that's the end of the news read by Kim Hyun-ok. This is Voice of Korea. The Daily Rodong Shimun on Tuesday carried a commentary titled Documentary Evidences Dealing a Blow at Japan. The commentary said, documents proving that the crimes related to the sexual slavery for the old Japanese army had been committed in an organized way have been recently opened to public. They included a document which recorded the interrogation of a prisoner of the Japanese army arrested in Myanmar, the then Burma, in April 1945, and documents of the U.S. forces drafted by a major of the U.S. troops in the Kunming region of China on May 13, 1945. The recently disclosed evidences exposing the truth behind the past crimes of the Japanese imperialists related to the sexual slavery have clearly confirmed once again that the tremendous immoral crimes committed by Japan in the last century are an undeniable historical fact. The problem is that, though its past crimes are clear, Japan is negating all facts and justifying its history of aggression. The Japanese reactionaries insist that there are no materials on the state involvement in the crimes of sexual slavery. It is a voluntary act of prostitutes for money-making, and they will comfort women in any country at war. These days, the talk of Gono is being denied, which admitted and apologized that the old Japanese army was involved in the crimes of sexual slavery, and the drafting, transfer, and control of the sex slaves had been conducted by planning, coercion, and the like, not according to their will. It is the only way Japan can choose to wake up from its silly dream of reinvasion at an early date and make an honest apology and compensation for its past crimes. That was the commentary under the title, Documentary Evidences Dealing a Blow at Japan, carried in the Daily Rodong Shimun on Tuesday. This is Voice of Korea. We notice in a male chorus, President Kim Il-sung is together with General Kim Jong-il.
the song of Mangyongdae, a song about Mangyongdae, a historic place where the great leader President Kim Il-sung was born and fostered lofty idea of patriotism. the string quartet. We are yearning for a sunny smile. Yo-Yo female trio in mixed bangsan. Let us sing of the Day of the Sun. I'm gonna bring you string ensemble. We believe in you as in heaven. sextet, our leader Kim Seung-min, loved by the people. Female duet, Mother. ensemble. Joyful is my mind.
Vicious provocation. The anti-DPRK provocations of the South Korean military war hawks get more reckless. As has been reported, on muddied bullets and shells in the area of the 5 islands on the West Sea of Korea, including the Panmunjom and Taeyeonpyeong Islands, and committed vicious provocations of scattering leaflets slandering the dignity of the supreme leadership and system of the DPRK. It is unpardonable as a dangerous senseless act to throw the inter-Korean relations into an irretrievable catastrophe and bring the situation to the brink of war. The East has been put in a grave crisis again due to the front war provocations of the United States and the South Korean warmongers. Despite the unanimous opposition and denunciation of the public at home and abroad, the United States and the South Korean military have more doggedly persisted in the reckless full-evil joint military exercise against the DPRK. As a result, a tense situation has been created on the Korean peninsula, where a war may break out at any moment. At the inter-Korean high-level contact held in mid-February last, the issue of stopping mutual slanders was a global point, and it was made public as a joint report. But as soon as the joint report was made public, the South Korean military persisted in their vicious psychological warfare against the DPRK, making disgusting outbursts that the psychological warfare against the North does not belong to diatribe, and developing and deploying new type leafleting shells. In the past, the South Korean authorities failed to directly take part in the psychological warfare against the North because of the warnings of the DPRK and the opposition of the South Korean public of different speakers, and instead instigated the most conservative organizations professing themselves to be civilian ones to the vicious anti-DPRK psychological warfare. But now, the authorities and the military get more undisguised to lead the anti-DPRK psychological warfare. As a matter of fact, any provocation irritating the opponent may be a flashpoint of the armed conflict or a total war when the extreme tension has been created between the North and the South. Of course, the South Korean authorities may know that their vicious anti-DPRK smear campaign would trigger off an indignation of the DPRK and develop into inter-Korean armed conflict. Moreover, as for the area of the Five Islands on the West Sea of Korea, it is a hot spot with acute confrontation of the armed forces of the North and the South. However, the South Korean military scattered leaflets against the DPRK in the area with the tinderbox of war. Such a thing can be done only by those who have intended to stage a war on the North. Herein lies the seriousness of the situation. The South Korean chief executive likes to talk about so-called confidence between the North and the South. But it is illogical to build confidence and improve the relations between the North and the South without abiding by even the elementary agreement between them. Facts prove once again that as long as the South Korean military gangsters persist in provocations against the DPRK, daring to insult the sacred dignity of its supreme leadership, there cannot be improvement of the inter-Korean relations nor peace of the Korean Peninsula. You've been listening to an account under the title, Vicious Provocations Against the Improvement of the Inter-Korean Relations. This is Voice of Korea.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,835 kHz. For Southern Africa between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for UTC on 11,735 kHz, 13,760 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye.